Hello and welcome everybody. Happy Friday. We have made it to the end of another week and we're ready for Spreadsheets Made Simple Part 3. Or at least I hope we're all ready. Before we get started, while I'm saying hello to everyone that's with us live, I want to make sure that everyone is very comfortable with the information from the first two lessons. So before we start with today's presentation, I want to see if anyone has any questions or if there's anything that they were confused about or wanted to have answered before we start with lesson 3. These videos are meant to be watched one after another, or they're meant to build on each other, where lesson 1 you learn stuff that you use in lesson 2, which then you use in lesson 3, so on and so forth. So I want to make sure that we understand everything from lesson 1 and 2 first. So really quick, let's see, does anyone have any questions about either of the first two lessons? Any questions about those? Any questions? In the meantime, let me say hello to everyone we have with us. Hello, Blaze, Eddie, Nancy, Chella, Riley, Sunshine. That is a new name. Welcome. Adelita, Vicente, Melly, Andrew, Adelita, Pablo, Miguel, Danny, Marta, Grisel, Ernestina, Laura, Romulo, Danny, Nancy, and Kike. Hello, everyone. Okay. Question number 2 on the second assignment. Yes, we can go take a look at that really quickly. And then, can you teach us Excel? So everything that you're learning about Google Sheets applies to Excel as well. All of the information works, all of the tricks work, everything in Excel and in Google Sheets is the same up to this point. Now, getting into the advanced webinars, things will change a little bit. So I will be covering both Google Sheets and Excel to show you how you do the different things in different functions. But as far as Excel and Google Sheets, average is always average, sum is always sum. The basics are the same. It's only once you start getting into the more advanced stuff that it changes a little. So yes, so Eddie, let's take a look at lesson 2 together. I know that this says lesson 3. Don't worry, it's the homework that you'll get tonight, but it also contains the lesson 2. So question number 2 is asking, write a formula to reference cell K10. So remember, a formula means that it has to start with an equal sign. So we know formula is equals. Then the question is asking, reference cell K10. Reference is just a way of saying, I want that.
Dear, it's not showing on the...
It's not showing on the, well, just look at my face. The face should be all you need. Let's try this. All right. Ta-da! Here's the spreadsheet. So question number 2 is asking, write a formula to reference K10. So the word here, reference, just means I want that one or that one. So to reference cell K10, we can do one of two things. We can type in K10, which will give us the correct answer, or the better way to do it is we go to the table on the right and you find K10 and you click there. So you still need your equal sign. You always need your equals, otherwise it doesn't know to do math. Once you tell it equals, then it's like, all right, we're going to do some math. What am I doing? So by telling it I want K10, when you hit enter, instead of it saying K10, it will give you the date of, or it will give you the information that was in that cell. So in cell K10, it says January 8th, 2021. Ta-da. And let's just make sure let's go through here and we'll answer all of the questions really quickly. So question 3, write a formula to answer L16 minus L6. So same thing, formula equals L16 minus L6. You can type it out, or you can go and you can do equals. We go over and we find L16 minus, we put our little dash so that we know we're doing subtraction, L6. L6 is right here. And that will give us the same answer. Then question 3.5. Write a formula to find the answer to the close price of $121.21 minus the close price from $1,421. So the way we do that, we need to use our heads a little bit. Let me just quickly do this. So there we go. So now if oh, that's not going to work. Freeze 2 columns. Freeze 2 columns. I see. Okay, so it's not going to do that. So here what we need to do is let's first see what this is asking us to do. The close price from 121. Here's 121. So this is our close price. Cell L19. So again, the close price of the 21st is right here. So let's just go ahead and start doing our formula. The 21st is right here, 402.79. Then it's asking us to do minus the close price from 1,4. So we're going to do the 21st minus the price from the 4th. The price from the 4th is $385.10. So if we hit enter, ta-da, we have the right answer. So again, this is where it takes a little thinking, because it's not asking you to do this L19 minus L6. It's asking for the close price on these dates. So you need to put 1 and 1 together and say the price from the 21st is $402.79. The price from the 4th is $385.10. So we can do this. The price from the 21st minus the price from the 6th, and that gives us our answer. Then for the formula, we're going to type out sum. Capitals, lowercase, doesn't matter. Capitals is the proper way to do it. And then we want to find the sum of the price change column. All you need to do, click and hold on the first and drag all the way down to the last. Put our close parenthesis, and that gives us our answer. Same thing for question 5. That is asking us, hello? There we go. Write a formula to find the average of the percent change column. So same thing, equals average. We go over on the right, and it's asking us to do the percent change column. So we click and hold, and we drag down to the last, put our close parenthesis, and hit enter. And that is how we get the answer for that. Alrighty, so now that we know the homework from last time, let's talk about what we're doing today. So today we're going to be on part 3 of our series. So I'm going to go through this super quick. Review from part 1 and part 2. We're working with spreadsheets, which is a giant grid of blank spaces called cells, and these cells are arranged like a giant floor tile, where each tile is one cell, and we can put all sorts of cool information in these cells: letters, numbers, or math equations. With that information, we can then do more calculations, we can create graphs, and a lot more. So let's do a little bit of math, because it lets us do it pretty simply by creating formulas, and like I just said, all formulas must start with an equals sign. After the equals, it now knows we're doing math, it pulls out its little calculator, and we give it what we want it to do. And then when you hit either tab or enter, it will do all of the math for you and give you the answer. Now, you can do basic arithmetic, which is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division by using a plus, minus, star, or slash. Then, after that, in lesson 2, we learned how to look at or point to the other cells, where we use the letter and the number of where we want to go. So using the example below, that should say B2, not B20. I don't know why it says B20. But it should say, using the below example, if we wanted to get the number 20, we could write a formula B2, no zero, B2, because B is the column, 2 is the row. And when you want to reference cells, just like I described before when we were looking at the homework, you can either type in the letter and the number, or you can click on the cell that you want to use. So again, using that example from before, here's the way you could do it. You type the equal sign, and then you can click on the cell, and then you can click on the other cell. Now, let's cover functions in a little bit more detail. So these functions are more than just addition or subtraction. These let us do something to the formula. And typically the functions are in all capital letters, and they have to have the parentheses. The parentheses is where the magic happens. So when you tell it sum, you have to have your parentheses, and then all of the stuff in the middle is what it adds together. Two of the most basic functions, and the ones we'll be using today, are sum and average. Sum takes all of the numbers you give it and sums them together, adds them all up. Average takes all of the numbers and tries to find the middle. Not the middle person, the middle number. These formulas are amazing because they let us give it a list of numbers, not just a few numbers, and it will do the math over all of those numbers. Now, how do you select more than just one number? As I covered in the homework, if we want to highlight what's called range of cells, we first tell it the first cell we want, and then we put a colon, the little dot dot, and then the last cell. And these ranges can be a row, a column, or both. So in addition to typing a range, you can click and drag, as you saw me do on the homework, so that you don't need to type them all out. You can just start. So literally click, drag down to where you want to go. So let's take this example and let's start with our function sum. And inside the parentheses, we're going to put the range that we want to add up. So if we want to get the three numbers in column A, what we will do is we need the first and the last cell. So the first is A1, colon tells us it's a range, and then we give it the last. So our range would be A colon A3, sorry, A1 colon A3. Our formula would look like this, equals sum. So that's telling it we're adding things together. What are we adding? Everything between A1 and A3. So it would do A1 plus A2 plus A3 and give us the answer 6. And the same thing can be done with the average. Again, if you want to try this yourself, or if you want some practice with this, I recommend looking at video 2, where I go into much more detail about these topics, as well as our worksheet from lesson 2 will test your knowledge of how you can use sum and average, and making sure that you know how to choose your ranges properly. If everyone is still with us and we haven't scared anyone off, let's talk about what we're covering today. This class, funny enough, is the reason that I started the Spreadsheets Made Simpler class. I wanted to show you all how to do this. So here it is. What you will learn today is you will learn how to take a single formula and copy it across multiple cells. In addition, we will learn how formulas change, what they reference when you copy them, and you'll learn how to prevent cells from changing. And lastly, we'll look at a little bit of basic math, where you'll learn how to calculate a percent change. And again, as all of the lessons have up to this point, I've created a worksheet that's homework so that you get to practice what you've learned today with a little tutoring alongside it in case you're getting the wrong answers. If everyone's still with us, let's go. So, copying formulas is the most important thing you can learn to do with a spreadsheet. Because when you're working with a spreadsheet, and the bigger it gets, you're oftentimes going to want to do the same math or the same equation over and over and over for every row or for every column. And typing that out gets boring. It's super boring. So to make this easier, we can copy the formulas. And no, I'm not talking just about clicking on it, copy and paste. That's cheating. What we can do, one moment. Apologies about that. So we have to try and make copying these formulas easier. We have an ability to, well, instead of telling you, let me show you. What you do is when you click on the cell, when you click anywhere on a spreadsheet, you'll get this little box around it. And you see that little right corner, that little square? If you click on that and drag in the direction you want to copy the formula, it will copy. And it's incredible how simple it is to take one formula and just go all the way down. And we'll do that here in a couple of minutes. But let's make sure we understand what's happening. Because when you copy a formula, for example, let me pull up. So I went ahead and I went to Finance Yahoo earlier today, and I grabbed the stock prices for NVIDIA. NVDA is the ticker. So let's do a very basic math question. What is the price change, if I can type correctly. So what this is looking at is the close price minus yesterday's close price. Of course, to do this, to do one minus the other, we need two things. So you can't do a price change. You can't do any change equation for the first value. So we start here. We're going to type our equal sign so we know we're here. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Ta-da. All right, we're going to put our equal sign to let it know we're doing some math. And I'm going to click here. So the close price from the 2nd of March minus the close price from the 1st of March. When I hit enter, that now gives me the price change. So this is what the price difference is from the 1st to the 2nd. The price went down $17.42. I'm going to make this even bigger. You see this little square right? That's a white arrow on a white background. That is useless. Try this again. All right, that little box. If we click there and you drag down, you see how there's that little dotted line that's going around the outside? That's telling us where it's going to copy the formula down to. So before I do anything, remember our current formula. Our current formula, B3 minus B2. Watch what happens when I take that little box and I drag down. That B3 minus B2 has now become B4 minus B3. So I dragged it down one box. So what did it do to the cells that it was pointing to? When our formula went down one, the two things it was looking at went down as well. So as we move the formula down, those cells will also change. So let's take it a little further, because this data goes all the way up to today. So now what we have is the percent change from every single day, where let's click here, for example. We see that this equation is saying the price from the 19th minus the price from the 16th. Let's check another one. This one is saying the price from the 6th of May minus the price from the 5th of May, all the way down. So I typed the formula one time, and because I'm dragging down the column, these numbers, if you look up here, let me put a box around it. Keep an eye right there. As we go, you see, for every one box we go down, the numbers go up by 1. Because the formula is copying over and over and over as far as we want it to. So that is the basics of what it looks like to copy a formula, and how the thing that we're referencing, the cells that we're pointing to, change. So think about it like this. Here is the formula, and here's the information. Number 1 and number 2, right? When this one goes down, here, let me start up here. When this one goes down, this goes down too. And they go down together or they go up together. So again, if they're copying up and down, the row number will change. It will go from A1 to A2 to A3 to A4 and so on and so forth. if we are copying from left to right. So let's take this and we'll drag it to the right. It is now looking at C3 minus C2. So when we drag left and right, the column letter, the letter will change. Up and down, number. Left and right, letter. Now, the other thing that I want to look at is what happens if I don't want a percent change. What if I just want to know if it's bigger or smaller than 500? So we can do that. We do B3, so that we're looking at the close price from that day, minus 500. If I drag this down, the 500, remember, we're looking up here. The 500 does not change. It's not a reference, it's just a number. The numbers won't change. The only thing that will change is if we're pointing to a cell, as we move it down, the reference is going to move down 2. And if we move it to the left or to the right, our reference will move to the left and right as well. So again, anytime we are using actual numbers, like 50, 500, 200, whatever, the numbers will not change, only the referenced cells will. One other thing that I don't talk about in this spreadsheet, but is pretty cool. I want to try something here. Let's take a date. 5/21/2021. Today. And then let's put in tomorrow. 5/22. What we are doing here is, say we want 5/23/2021, 5/24/20, every single day. One line per day, right? Google's smart. So if we highlight even just 2 of these cells, and then we drag down, it gets what we're trying to do. So it will continue what we started, where if literally we need 2 days, that's it. If we drag down, it will go 1 day at a time. Then, let's say instead of wanting it every day, what if we want to skip, where it's only every week? We can still do that. It's very smart. Or you can do it with numbers too. If you give it 5 and 10, it knows that you're trying to skip by 5s. So it will do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, so on and so forth. These equations are incredibly useful. Incredibly useful. The last thing I want to show you, instead of weeks, how about years? Where we just change the year. Guess what? It can do that too. If you give it a pattern, any pattern, it will learn what you're doing and it will copy what you are doing. I will tell you right now, I do not know the answer to this, and we're about to find out together. What happens, because keep in mind, the market's not open every day. It's only open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So what happens if we try and copy that formula? And again, I don't know the answer here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it 2 weeks. This is a Monday, this is a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Weekend. The weekend is right here. That's the weekend. Then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Let's see what happens if we drag down from there. Does it recognize the weekends? No, it does not. Darn. Okay, well, the point still stands about the dates and the numbers. Again, anytime you give it a pattern and you copy the formula, it will copy your pattern. Now, it's really nice that the cells change, but what happens if you don't want it to? Can you tell it, I want this number to not change, but I want that number to change? Yeah, pretty easily. Oh, Josefina, I'm so glad that you and your friend are enjoying these classes. This kind of information should be free. It's the kind of thing that anyone can use for anything. I will teach you how to use Excel to create watch lists and to create graphs and to process financial data, yeah, but to teach you Excel, no, that should be something that is honestly taught in schools, let alone in a financial setting. So I'm doing this because honestly everyone should learn Excel. But all right, let's cover these locked cells. So what we can do is, if I don't want a number to change, or if I don't want a referenced cell to change, then we can add dollar signs before the letter, the number, or both. So putting a dollar sign before the letter locks the column. So it will lock the letter. Putting a dollar sign before the number locks the row. Putting a dollar sign before both locks both the row and the column. If you don't like typing the dollar sign, there is a shortcut for it, and the shortcut is F4. Let's go and take a look at this together, shall we? Instead of this, I'm going to go back to our lovely 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, 30, 100, 200, 300. Right? So, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reference A1. That's a date. I don't want a date, I want a number. Let me convert this to a number. And let's get rid of our decimal places. Okay. So right now we are referencing A1. If we drag it across, we will see that it goes from A1 to B1 to C1. If we drag it down, we'll see that it goes from A1 to A2 to A3. I don't want these numbers to change anymore. I don't want the letters to change. I want it so that if I drag right, it stays 1. If I drag it down, it stays 1. So let's talk about how we would do that, all right? Let's first talk about left to right. We're going to put our dollar sign in front of the A. So now we have equals dollar sign A1. If I copy that across, you'll see that the A1 does not change. It's always A1. But if we drag down, it still changes. If we drag, you'll see that it now goes 1, 10, 100. Because the A isn't, we told it, don't change. The only thing we want to change is the number. The up and down we want to change. The left and right we don't. So that's what we got. Let's now flip it. Let's go and do equals a $1. We'll see now if we go left and right, oh hey, it changes because the letter is unlocked. The letter can change. If we go up and down, the number can't change. So up and down is now locked, left and right is unlocked. For the last example, let's do both. We're going to go equals $a $1. So now, if we go down, it doesn't change, and if we go right, it does not change. So to just repeat everything, putting a $sign before the letter makes it so our left to right does not change. It locks the letter, the column, the left and right. Putting a $sign before the row, before the number, locks the row. It locks the up and down. It locks the number. Putting a $sign before both locks both the row and the column. Or if we put it in another word, it locks that one thing we are looking at. We can drag up, down, left, right, to the neighbor's house if you wanted. It will always still be pointing right here. Right there. That's where it's going to look. And again, F4 on your keyboard is a shortcut if you want to explore that. Hello, Mom. Good to see you. I'm glad that you're able to pop in and say hello. All right. Now that we've covered all of this, let's go back and talk a little stock stuff. Let's put all of this into something we can use. Pointing, yes, as Melly just said, pointing is referencing. I like the word pointing. It's a little bit more, it makes a little bit more sense. Like, what are you trying to do? I want it to do that minus that. It's referencing two cells, but really it's just that one minus that one, or that one plus that one. Sorry, that's a lot of fun. All right. Percent change. When we're looking at a stock's price, the dollar amount is useful. But the percent change is a lot more important. Because if, like I've said before, if we have a $5 price change on a $500 stock, it's 1%. If we have $5 change on a $10 stock, all right, maybe it's time to go on a nice vacation to Maui. The dollar amount is useful, but the percent change is what gives us context. It tells us, is that $5 a lot or a little? And if you go and you look anywhere, let's go to Finance Yahoo. Let's see what they tell us. Percent change. Percent change. Let's go to stock charts. Let's go to SPY. Percent change. Right, that's not the right thing. That's not the right thing. Right here, percent change. Understanding percent change is incredibly important. It is very, very, very useful because it gives us a lot more than just did it go up or down and by how many points or dollars. Exactly, Blaze. It's like the difference of a tenth versus an 100th. But let's take this a step further, and instead of learning how to do read a percent, let's teach you how to do the percent. So percent change, this is a simplification. This is the easiest way to do it. I will explain a little bit more in a second that it's a little different. But percent change is this. It is the new price minus the old price, which gives us the dollar difference. If it started at 100 and ended at 90, it's 10 minus 10. So the new price is 90 minus 100 is negative 10. Then divide it all by the old price. So using that example, 90 minus 100 is negative 10. Divided by the old price, which was 100, gives us negative 10 divided by 100, which gives us negative 10%, or negative 0.1, which becomes negative 10%. Oh, thank you so much, Josefina. I really appreciate that. So in spreadsheets, we can do percent change very easily. We can do it in one cell, which is the you know your stuff way. Or we can break it up into two cells, which is what you'll do for your homework. But let's talk about both. All right, let's make sure we know the easy and the hard way to do it. So, to calculate percent change, remember the formula. Remember the formula. Percent change is equal to new minus old, then divided by old. So we can do it all in one cell, but we need a little help from good old orders of operations. If you know what that is, fantastic. This will make a lot of sense. If you don't know what it is, don't worry. I will still show you how to use this information. So the way you would do it is you would do equals, and then we need those parentheses again. Not because it's a formula, but because anything in the parentheses we do first. It is the most important part of the entire thing. So we do that first. New minus old. The information in the parentheses will always be done first. So by doing this, we're telling it, first thing, new price minus old price. Second thing, whatever that number comes out to be, divided by the old price. That's option 1. Option 2, and the one that you'll be doing for your homework, is in cell 1, we do the subtraction. New price minus old price. Because it is now giving us the dollar difference, or what is called the price change. And yes, these are formulas. We do need our equal sign before anything we do. So we have cell 1, which is our price change. Then we take our price change and divide it by our old price, which gives us our percent change. So it's the same thing as option 1, but this little new minus old bit, we make that its own thing, and then we reference that cell and divide it by the old price. Again, for your homework, we'll do option 2. Keep it nice and simple. And I'm nice. I've already done the new minus old part for you. All you need to do is calculate the percent change. But here's a good question for you all. Why do we care? Why am I telling you all this information? Why does this matter? How would you use this? Well, creating formulas that change are extremely useful for anything you do in spreadsheets because it allows us to do things just like percent changes, but it lets us also create simple moving averages. Also, learning to lock a cell allows us to compare moving averages or stock prices to a single non-changing point, such as an average or a start. There's no end to what you can do when you know how to copy a formula and how to tell it not to change numbers. But instead of telling you, let me show you a couple of different ways you can use this information. While I'm going through these examples, if you have any questions about what we've covered today or any of your own questions, please feel free to ask me. If I can't answer it today, I promise I can in one of the future episodes. But let me stop showing you words and let's start showing you guys some numbers, shall we? So we're going to go back here to our table. And I've shown you what it looks like when it's small. Let me make it a little bit bigger so I can have more room to work. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a percent change. But before we do that, we need our price change. Remember what I said. The price change is the new price, which is cell B3, minus the old price, B2. Remember how I said we can't do it for the first day? It's because we need 2 days. We need today and yesterday. So this gives us the dollar difference, where between the 1st of March and the 2nd of March, the price went down by $17.42. And if I grab this little box and go all the way down, you will see that that same formula has just been applied to the entire column. As we go down, you can see the numbers are going up so that it's always the cell to its left minus the cell above that one. Let's now try something different. Let's practice locking a cell. What we're going to do is for every day, and remember we can't do this for the first day, we're going to find how much the price has changed compared to the 1st of March. So we're going to do this. Equals the price on that day minus the price from the 1st of March. But wait! We don't want that second number to change because I don't care if it's March 2nd or today. I was trying to think of a future number, but I can't do that. Or if it was May 21st, we still want to compare it to last March 1st. So to do that, I am going to hit F4. Ta-da! There's our dollar signs. So now, oh hey, that's the same number because it is. It's still this day minus this day. But when we drag this down, those look different because now this first number is changing. B11 is changing. It's going down as the formula goes down. But B2 is not. B2, because it has a dollar sign before the letter and the number, will always be B2. So let's go all the way down. By the end, what this number is giving us is the price today minus the price from last March 1st. So that is how you can lock a cell and an example of how you can use it. You can use it to find the most common way you would see this is in what's called YTD, or year to date. It is what is the price today minus what was the price January 1st of this year. Have a great afternoon and a lovely weekend to you as well, Melly. I'm glad you're feeling better. So again, what is the price today minus all the way back to January 1st? That's YTD, and we can calculate that just like this. We lock the price on January 1st, and then we change what day we're looking at. Let's now, I'm going to delete this, and we're going to do percent change, all right? Remember, our percent change formula is equal to the price change divided by the old price, right? So I'm going to type that in. We can't do percent change for the first day. We can do it for the second, though. So here, let's do equals our price change, which is right here to the left, divided by the old price, the price from yesterday. So we have price change divided by close price. And if I convert this to a percentage, we see that it went down by 3.15%. Let's show you the other way that you can do it, where we do our equals, new price minus old price, close off the parentheses so we know we're doing that little bit first, and then once we're done with our sandwich between the two parentheses, we can have our fries. The fries are the old close price. So we have new price minus old price. It has to be in parentheses divided by the old price. And would you look at that? It's not the same because it's not a percent. Oh, hey, it's the same. So let's apply this to all of the rows. Ta-da! Now we have percent changes to match all of the dollars. And if you notice, let me make this a little bit easier. Is less than 0, make the text red. If you want to learn how I just did what I did, join us for the advanced class. But now what you can see is the negatives are always negatives. It doesn't change the information. It's just giving it to us in percentages instead of dollars. So, what can we do now? Well, let's see. Let's practice our sum, where we can take the sum of all of the price changes. And that should be a dollar amount. So what this is this is the price change between the current price and the old price. Because this is adding up all of the different price changes together. Right? And this should be the same number as if we did today's price minus the old price If we put that into numbers as well, ta-da, $46. So that is sum. It's just adding up all of the different numbers. And because we're adding up, did it make money or lose money? All of those numbers put together is just going to tell us what's today's price minus the old price. Let's do an average, shall we? Let's find the average amount that NVIDIA went up per day. So it kind of did this. It went or other way around. It goes up and down. But let's just make it a straight line. I want a straight line going up. So forgetting all of the what's the straight line? How much did it go up on average every day? So to do that, we're going to type our average. We're going to grab the price change and drag down. And that gives us an average of 79 cents per day. Right? But what if we want the average percent change instead of the average dollar change? Before I do anything, let me convert that to a percent. We're going to do the same thing. Average, take the first, drag all the way down, close it off, ta-da. So forgetting all of the crazy up and downs, it went up every day, on average, 79 cents, and the average percent change was 0.18%. So our straight line from March 1st to today, every day it went up on average 79 cents. But I want to see that line. I want to see it doing a straight line up. How can we do that? By using our locked cells. So let's do this. Let's pretend that instead of the stock price going up and down with changes, let's make a straight line where our first price was the original close price, and then we're going to go and we're going to do this. We're going to take the old price and add our 79 cents. But wait, we don't want the 79 to change. So we're going to lock it using our $sign and $sign. Because now what we can do is if we drag this all the way down, it should have come out to the same number. Let's take a look at why it didn't. Because I messed up my formula. We don't want the old number because that's going to give us the wrong thing. We want that number because we want it to be adding on to its actual jumps. So now what it's doing is it's taking the price from yesterday and adding the 79 cents. So if we drag this down, remember, the reference will change. What will not is the amount that it's going up by, our average price change. And then just to show you something pretty cool, we're going to, ignore what I'm about to do. If you want, I will explain what I'm about to do. I'm just going to do it quickly so that I can show you what this would end up looking like. There we go. We're going to delete that and we're going to create a graph using this. We're going to add a chart. Ta-da. So what this is giving us is, here is the price of NVIDIA. The blue line is its price change over time. It went up, it went down, it had its good and its bad. The red line is that straight line we just created. By referencing that locked cell so that we know how much it needs to go up every day. So we take the price from yesterday and we add that average change. And the end result is that the start point is the same, the end point is the same. One is what really happened, and the other is just a straight line to show you where it started, it ended, and if it had just gone straight there, what it would have looked like. Really quick, let's take a look at your homework. So the homework is going to take a lot of what we just learned and practice it. You are going to have to create your percent change. I give you the price change, I give you the stock prices, but you need to create the percent change. If you give it a correct number, it will tell you correct over here on the right. If you give it an incorrect number, it will tell you incorrect. I want you all to fill it in so that everything here, all of this says correct, and see if you can do the difference from the average as well. Because one of the questions is find the average percent return. And then the next question is, what is the difference from the average? This is much harder than the other two assignments. But if you can do this, you have not just learned what I've taught you in this lesson. You have learned how to use the information. And that's what my goal is. I don't want to teach you how to do this once. I want to teach you how you can do it for yourself over and over and over again with whatever information you want. Stocks, savings accounts, budgeting, whatever. Learning this information can apply to anything that you use math to make your life simpler with. So, enjoy. I'm going to post the link for this in chat right now. Please feel free to do this assignment. If you have any questions, you can always email us at support@sectorsmadesimple.com and I can help out with that. How much time does it take for me to create the template? For the first two lessons, it takes a couple of hours. This one took a little bit longer because I needed to create the correct and incorrect. So this isn't some magic thing. Literally all of the correct and incorrect are just big formulas that I've written. So writing and learning the correct formula takes a bit of practice, but once you get the formula, it's pretty easy from there. So answer a couple of hours, but it's not too bad. It's well worth it for you guys having something to do yourself and practice with, and the ability to see the box turn green when you get the right answer and turn red when you get the incorrect answer. So enjoy. If you have any questions, please shoot us a message at support@sectorsmadesimple.com. I would love to hear from you to see how you're doing on your assignment, as well as if you have any topics or anything that you would like to learn about in Lesson 4. Next week, we are going to be talking about importing data, starting to use real stock data and looking at how we can apply what we learned today in a way that is very usable, very easy to see and to understand, and overall simple to learn and to use. So, thank you all so much. Have an amazing weekend. Members, we'll see you back on Tuesday for another members webinar on charting, as well as we'll see everyone back next Friday for part 4 of Spreadsheets Made Simple. Thank you all so much. Take care. Bye.